going back to this, let's just say that I repeat that because you probably forgot. Yes? So undo. So we start again. And remember, I'm doing this in the 3D window. Sometimes you'll find that there's a lot of information going down on these. So the way that you could work would be instead of picking everything, pick the two elements that you're going to be working with, and then go to the 3D window instead. So we go Design, Solid Element Operations, excuse me. So get the target elements, click that once, click the target, click here, notice the target shows up, and then click off. So it's already stored the target element. You don't have to worry about it being selected, because then you go Get Operator, click that, click there, and again it's showing that one operator is stored, and then we've got a subtraction with upward extrusion, and then execute. Okay, so that has created that cut into that for us. If we go forward now, and we say, all right, finalize operation, convert to morphs, what happens? Let's see. So I don't recommend you do this until you're ready, until you're final with your design.
What's the advantage of doing it, converting it to a morph
Well,
instead of having two meshes?
it holds that, it's a good question. I've found sometimes it actually helps, and other times it's a PITA.
Yeah, because
You know?
I've used the renovation filter to
Yeah.
do it.
Well, let's try this and see whether we can work out whether there is an advantage to converting to morph or not. So if I click that, selected elements we converted to morphs, their originals as well as their dimensions will be deleted. So okay, I've got my slab now. It still works as a slab, but notice that it doesn't cut anymore. Well, is that an advantage? No, not really. What happens to this guy? I don't know. Let's go back. There was one other thing that we could think about here. Let's undo. Edit, undo it. Slab. So we haven't undo create morphs. Okay. If we take this guy, the slab, and we hide that layer, what happens? Hide that layer, and it's still showing the hole. So my recommendation is don't convert to morphs until you're absolutely certain. Okay. I think I might show you one other thing right now that's going to be a little bit more of an education for you. That's certainly something that we're going to be working with quite a bit on this project, that cut and fill. The other thing I wanted to show you, is with the slab itself. So far we've been very, very loose with our interpretation of structure on our projects. Especially with slabs, we don't have slab edges, we don't have thickenings, we don't have any engineering on this project. Our slabs have just been big rafts of concrete. How do we put a nice edge to this slab, a thickening to it? I think you'd like to see how that works. So the way that we're going to do it is with the beam tool, this guy here. Our beam tool allows us to put in basically, it's like a wall really, a beam. It's got height, it's got a width, and we draw it in a length. That's a typical beam. That's when we use this guy. Structure, rectangular, contour. But when we go to here in the beam tool, we have a library. And look, we've got all sorts of little bits and pieces. Footing, cornice, equal angles, footing 2, gutter, joist, precast beam, etc., etc., etc. Precast inverse T, bull nose, T-steel, Z-beam. We've got a whole lot of stuff here that we can use. So if I wanted to use one of the footings here, I could use that, but I know that that's probably an inappropriate footing for this project because it's a residential footing. Okay. If I wanted to make a different footing for this beam, for this slab, what I'd probably do is, using the fill tool, I could draw a shape that I want. And let's just draw something about 900. And let's go down about 600. And then I'm going to go, slide. So that's 9 by 600. And then I'm going to take this and I might do a little bit of playing around with it. Take that back to there. So say that's a footing that I want to use this time for this. I'm going to select this, copy it. Now all I'm doing is selecting a fill. Okay, it's two-dimensional, it's got no 3D at all. I'm going to document, and where are we? Where did they hide it? They keep on moving things
What,
around. Where'd it go?
it's an options, I think.
Oh yeah, thank you. Profile Manager. I go into the Profile Manager and I'm going to choose a profile, edit profile, paste into the center of the current view. Okay, so what I've done is I've pulled that fill that I drew down there into here, and I didn't even have to draw it on the floor plan. I could draw it straight into here. This will only accept the 2D tools. And notice here I've got a thing called, I've got the origin there. That's very important. So with this origin, I'm going to take my object, I'm going to push it so it sits underneath the origin, because that's all to do with the insertion. And I'm going to say use it with the wall, no. Use it with the beam, yes. Use it with the column. I'll turn off the wall, I'll store the profile, I'll call this test, test 1, okay, test 1, and so let's save that on her, and go back to here, and I'll go back to the beam tool, and I pick here, and good old test 1 comes up. So it's given us, I remember my dimensions were 900 by 600, so it's given me that shape. And what I want to do is reinforce my slab around the edge with that type of footing. So I'm going to press OK, and I'm going to use the space bar, turning it into a magic wand, and bang, it's drawn that. It's probably in the wrong spot. Let's see in the section where that turned out. Let's fix it up later. It's over in current settings. Oops. Oh, went in the right spot. That's lucky. Okay, so there's our slab. There's our new footing that we've made. And we're starting to really build more like building elements now, instead of just bits of cardboard. Okay? While we're here, let's go back to the 3D window. And if I hide my slab, you can see that my footings are now buried in the ground. So I could just as easily go back to the footings. Now they're grouped, but the suspend groups is on, so I'll unsuspend the groups, pick all of those footings at once, And I could do the same thing over again with solid element operations if I wanted to, and actually cut out of the site the shape of the footing. So we can keep on going that way, and I might as well do it. So design, solid element operations. So get the target. Target is the site. Click once, click off. Get the operator. The operator is this. Now, there it shows 4 elements, which is good. And this time it's just going to be a subtraction and execute. And now if I turn the layer of that off, which is beams, so I've got layers, hide the layer. Now we've got a further excavation through there. So we're starting to really model up this building. Excuse me. And if I cut through this section here and test it, that shouldn't be. Take this one. So now our site has been properly sculpted by the reduction, by the taking away of both the slab and the footings underneath it. So when we go in to draw our sections, it's already there. It's done a bit of the work for us. Now, I'm not suggesting that you keep on modelling down to the degree that everything is all perfect, because it takes a lot of time. But things like these slabs and the footings that we create, I think it's worthwhile to actually do that properly in 3D and get used to it.